Dudes. Yeah.
Shot, man. What up, bro? How you going, man?
Kia ora. Oh, good, bro. Good.
Kia ora.
Really good.
Tino
What about
pai.
you?
Tino
Oh.
pai.
Ki te pēhea koe, Q.
Man, kei te oro tonu, bro. Still alive, brother?
Oh, I like that answer. Nice. What up,
Oh, man.
man?
Loving it, man. Yeah, man. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let us know what you're up to tonight, whānau. Over in the comments. See a few people watching, man. I'm thankful, man, for you joining in tonight. Ciao.
Yeah, just gotta check a comment up, Q. Boom. Cheers, the boys.
Cheers,
Cheers,
brother.
Well, yes, we are.
Man.
Well, thank you, Ray.
Yeah, man. Kia ora. Hope you are too, bro, and hope you're fun as well, man. It's been a long time, Ray, bro. You know, man, far out. It's been a long time.
For sure. I just want to chuck one more comment up, bro. It's this one over here.
You got me, Quinn.
Yeah.
You got me, bro. My bad, whānau. We're a bit, it's 8:08 now. Probably, I think we hit the live button at like 8:03. Here at 8:05. My bad.
It's all good.
It's
Just
all
wanted
good.
to
Shot,
shout out to kia ora, Zach. Shot for tuning in tonight.
Ciao. Mean. Yeah, man. No, my haramai, man.
Yeah.
It's been a good
Lockdown
day.
hasn't been kind to the waist, as Ray said. Yeah, I know what you mean, Ray. I know what you mean.
Yeah, man. Nah, mean, man. Well, should we get into it, Quinn? Should we just
Yeah, bro. Let's
straight
get straight
into it?
into it.
I'm pretty excited for tonight's episode, Quinn. Straight up, man. Last week, whānau, if you didn't see, we're actually started up a new I guess little mini series, but it's just pretty much our live streams like usual. But started up a new type of show where we pretty much visit people's desk setups, man. And last week we checked out our first desk setup with Janice. So massive shout out to you, Janice, for letting us come through and being our first our special guest, man. So super thankful. And on tonight's episode,
we finally got a guest on our show, so
Yep.
that's one achievement ticked, I should say. Yeah,
Nah, bro, we'll take it when we get to Hundy.
yeah, true. Yep, I'm keen on that one, man. Keen on those 100 special guests. We can add
man.
number 2 for tonight, bro.
Yeah, man. But nah, cool, man. Well, Quinn, should we just get on with it, bro? Should we bring in our first guest, man? Should I do an intro? Or do you want to do the intro?
Yeah, bro. Can you do a cool ass intro for our special guest?
All good, man. So, whānau, we're about to bring in the feed a really cool young man that goes by the name of Jayden. Now, Jayden, whānau, he's a student, but he's an all-round tech guru, jammer, maker, a guy that just loves having a bit of a tutu, and he actually does a lot. He does all sorts with tech, but one huge thing he does tonight, he actually does within his mahi, is game development, and he's an indie game developer. So, man, tonight we're going to be checking out what a indie game developer's desk setup's all about, all the cool stuff that he has, and also hear too a little bit more about you know, what he does in game dev. So, bro, bring him in, Quinn. How do I, Jayden? How do I, bro?
Hello.
Yo.
What's up, man?
Bro, you're here, Jayden. Welcome, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Bro, it's our pleasure, honestly, bro. Like, thank you for coming along. Bro, you're the second person, bro, that's been willing to come through and open up their doors, bro. You know. So just super thankful, bro. So bro, just to get us started, bro, Jayden, bro, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, bro? Where you're from and all that sort of good stuff, bro?
Yeah, I'm from Dunedin, locally based there, and I spend most of my time making games. I'm a student at the moment. I'm in my second year of my Bachelor of Science degree. And on top of that, I just try to help out wherever I can in terms of communities of other people that make games or, you know, like games like I do. And
a bit of a collection there, bro. It's a bit of a collection. Straight up.
Yeah.
Love it. That's super cool, bro. And interesting fact, whānau, I actually met Jayden like many years ago. I can't. Do you remember how many years it was, bro?
It was a while ago. I think it was 2015. I think it was 2015.
Yeah, 2015, and this was back when we were in the when I was in my old job, working in after-school spaces and helping develop youth spaces for young people. And I met Jayden there, who pretty much went down, and he just came out and got to meet him and hear more about some of the work he was doing. And well, you were helping us do the setup too, eh? Yeah, man. Oh, I'm trying to. It's been that long ago, so far. But cool, man. But super thankful, Jayden, for coming through. But man, to be honest, I just want to get down into it, man. What do you reckon, whānau?
Yeah, hi. I want to get to know more about Jayden and his desk.
Man.
One thing I can say about that is we prepared another video of doing a little showcase for Jayden. We got a chance to play it, and we'll go straight into seeing Jayden's desk. So no more introduction for the video, but here it is.
Cha-cha. Yeah.
There we are.
Yo, man. Yeah, straight in there. Bro, Jayden, one thing I just noticed. Oh, is that it there? Man, as we were going through that little snippet, you've got a...
This is
I noticed... Oh, sorry?
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh, no, all good. It's quite hard, because man, there's a bit of lag between us anymore. But sorry, one thing I noticed is that, man, I didn't even know you were into it, bro, but I saw, was that an Arduino on your desk?
Yeah. I got that a while ago. It was actually given to me at a makerspace, Lego makerspace. That's what I was talking about when I was playing around with it, but I'm not very good with it, you see. I've just kind of made a light go on. But
never we bro, straight up. but sorry to interrupt you, bro. I'm so sorry. Bro, take us for a tour, bro. Show us around.
Yeah, so it's there's not very much here. I kind of cleaned it up. There's usually a stack this high of maybe like that of books and stuff in it. So it's kind of where I keep my documents to design my games, or like what I'm reading at the time to, if it's like a programming textbook or something. Bunch of pens that usually like scattered everywhere over here. So I cleaned that up, and space for my laptop. I only have one monitor, but it's got a wide desk. I got this wide desk because I kind of wanted to set up another monitor that, as you can see, I've got quite a wide monitor there, and so I kind of want to match it with the wide monitor. another one. This is just a stack of books that I'm currently going through for uni, and yeah, so that's the desk per se. My computer just sits underneath. Almost doesn't quite. It's quite a tall machine. So
Yeah, it looks huge.
my Wi-Fi stick barely sits in, but luckily, you know, that
It's like your Wi-Fi's going hard too, bro.
I'm here tonight, so yeah.
Nice, bro. Nice. It's a bit of a tower, bro. What's the specs on your computer, bro?
Yes. So my computer, I've made a little list here because I'm not very good at this, but has a i7 Intel Core processor, 350 gigahertz there, 16 gigs of RAM. I think it's 28 gigabyte sticks. I got Windows 10 Pro on there, Intel graphics card for 4600. But I've also got a second NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780, when that does all the kind of heavy lifting of the 3D games there. I've also got a 110 gigabyte SSD and about 3 terabyte HDD, which is, you know, the main one.
The one that's like always like sitting on what 10% left.
That's the other one. I kind of searched through there a little bit.
But what sort of keyboard is that, bro?
Yeah, I was going to mention that's what I thought you were talking about actually. So this is this is worth $30.
What?
I bought it. Yeah. I just wanted to see it one day. I saw it on Dick Smith when they went out of commission. When the Australian guy bought it. They released these Kogan brands, and this is a Kogan one. And so yeah, it's got all these settings you can change, like the LED settings and stuff. It's pretty cheap when you're in person. You can kind of see, you know, if you look close enough under the keyboard, they're pretty cheap LEDs and that kind of thing. But I mean, it doesn't feel as nice as the Razer one, but to be honest, I mean, I didn't want to pay about like $300 for an LED keyboard.
Nah.
But I found it's pretty comfortable, like the keys and how they react to my fingers and stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted out of it. And I've got a little volume control up here and stuff like that. Stuff I want.
That stuff is handy, eh? Little things like that, eh? Like just the volume on the keyboard, eh? Like I love that.
It helps.
It's quite a good key. $30, bro. You can't go wrong with it. Quinn, how much was that one from Kmart, bro?
Probably really close to $30, 28, I think. 28, 26. Between those price.
And that's Quinn's full-time keyboard now. Like it just does the job, eh? Like, hey Quinn, that wasn't meant to go on your desk, bro.
Yeah, no, not at all. But you know, we don't want to pull out LEDs, RBG light keyboard in the cupboard. Why wouldn't you do that?
Sorry, Jayden, bro. Tell us the shush, man. Tell us the shush.
No,
keep going, bro.
You might spot a few tonight. I've got a lot of keyboards that I've gone through quite a bit of them. I'll just kind of keep them around, but just you know, just take a note every time you see one.
All of that coding, eh, bro? Wow.
I've got a question for you, Jayden, bro.
Yeah, sure.
If you could change one thing about your setup, what would it be?
One thing. Well, there's a few things, but the main thing I want to upgrade, I guess, would be, as I said before, the second monitor. So I've got quite a wide display, as I said. It's kind of it's a bit longer than the traditional one, and I've put a TV beside it before, like Quinn said in another episode, like a 24-inch TV or something. It just doesn't look right. It's a bit bigger than in a different way, you know. And also this is I think 2K support, this monitor here, and I kind of want to match that with my additional one. So I found this one is about $370 most places. So one day, you know, I'm just gonna grab it and just go for it. But
yeah. I guess you're thinking around that, bro. Is that, do you just need more real estate? Will it help, I guess, productivity when you're developing games and stuff like that? Sort of what's your thinking there, bro?
Yeah, definitely the productivity side. So I use cross-platform, I guess you'd call it cross-platform development in a lot of cases. So a lot of my animation work is created in Adobe Illustrator, and then I take that out of Illustrator, and if I put that into a third party, like a After Effects or something, sometimes I do that. But other times it just goes straight into the Game Maker engine. And I animate that way. And
Nice,
so
nice.
I would kind of like just have both tabs open. Sometimes it's a coding thing, just different windows and the output, things like that.
Yeah, man. No,
yeah.
that's cool. Oh, shot, man. Yeah, I could always do it. Yeah, I know what you mean. You know, I've got two. I'm used to two like screens in the office. So I only got one at home right now, and I'm finding it pretty hard to just do like all my stuff. Because I normally have like all my set windows up, and everything just sits where it is. It's like that's it. This is how it is every single day. So I know what you mean. Having that real estate really, really helps. I just want to make it. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yep. You go, bro. You go.
I'd say Chrome tabs as well. Just any sort of internet browsing. They get too many of those. So.
Bro, yeah, bro, Hardy. Oh wait, where's mine? Let me just check mine. Hold on. What we got up? Oh yeah, probably over 10, bro. Like, what's up?
There's a rookie numbers.
I was crack up because I had to close all my tabs because my internet started running slow. I was like, oh no, gotta close.
Sorry, I just want to make one quick little comment though. I know there's I just want to say, Ray, bro, I've seen your question, and we're going to come back to that in a little bit. So, bro, hang in there, bro. Bro, he's dropped you a massive question in there, Jayden, for after. And he's asking for a quick tutorial. Yeah, we'll put it up after. But is there anything else you want to show us on this side? Because I want to know if we can have a look behind you, if that's possible. After we've looked at it, if that's all right with you. I mean, that shelf there, brother. I'd love to. I don't know if there's any gamers on, but jump in the comments and say, "Can we have a look?"
I'm happy to show you. There's one other thing I guess I should probably point out. So I keep my PS4 down here. I don't know if you can see that very well. I could put it.
Yeah, bro. No, we can see it. We can see it, bro.
So I don't use that much, to be honest. I grabbed a PS5 last year when it launched, so I've kind of just relegated that over here. But the reason I put it in here is because this Elgato capture card I got. So now I can just, it's an HD60S Plus. And what that does is that just captures 1080p footage straight from the console. I can also view the console in full real time in 4K, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, you know, before when I've recorded footage in the past, there's always been a setback in what I could actually view at the same time in real time. You know, if I was capturing I used to do it through composite component cables, the red, the blue, and green one. Yeah. So it was always a setback with that kind of stuff, and so now when they're land of HD and that, I just kind of grabbed that last year. I've used it a few times. I want to get more into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's so cool, it just kind of sits there.
So sorry. So the Elgato's plugged into your computer. So when you do want to play, you just pretty much open up do you use OBS or do you just use the Elgato software to just play it real time and record?
At the moment, I've just used the Elgato software, really simple, plug and play. It comes with like a 4K player thing. And sometimes, to be honest, when I'm feeling really lazy, I don't even flick the HDMI over. I just kind of play it through the computer because it is real time. It's pretty good at keeping the
rates.
Yeah. Essentially, it's not noticeable. Maybe it is, but I don't mind too much. But yeah, I can just flick the HDMI over. I got two ports in the system there, and that's another thing I'd want to buy as a multi-adapter tap for the multi-tap for the HDMI cables.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, please.
So handy, bro. Yeah, I used to use one when I used to fix. Oh yeah, hard. I used to use one when I used to fix computers all of the time. Like just have one screen and then multi-input, and it's just boom, boom, and switch. Just was so handy. But that's cool, man. Yeah, sure for mentioning that, man. Maybe we need to get one of those, Quinn.
Yes, we do, Q.
Just to have around.
Yeah.
And then Quinn's gonna take it home and just like use it to play games and record.
Why not? Or I'll do the other way and go to the office and use it there.
Get some overtime. Pays.
It's not. Just remember that one's not paid, Quinn. Just
all I need to do is just say ASK.Q live, Gaming tonight, whānau, no.
Oh man, but sorry, Jayden, bro. Continue your tour, bro. Tell me and Quinta shush, bro.
Okay. Okay. What I'll do then is, how well can you hear me at the moment? Is it?
Yeah. No, we can hear you pretty good.
Because my headset's the mic's not working because I updated the software, so I'm gonna take it off, and the HD cameras, webcams capturing the footage, the audio. Just switch over to my phone if you need to, because I might need to. Yep. Okay, so here's the shelf here. I kind of go in descending order from PS5 to 4. Couple of noteworthy things here. One of my favorites of the recent games, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Get that because of lockdown, so the game was delayed. Physically delayed in New Zealand until after lockdown, level 4 last year. So I got this one as a birthday present, kind of. This one's still wrapped because I got the digital copy. But it's really good. Because I don't want to buy it again.
Nice.
Besides that, I've got these Jack games here. Limited run games. They got a little limited number on there. And they're actually limited copies there. I think it's like a few thousand of each one. And then these are the collector's editions. And same deal here, but like less of them are available. These are pretty cool. They come with like the design bibles of each of the games, all the design documents. They've got like little statues in there, collectible cards, like a memory card USB. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so they're quite old games. They came out like 2001 through the mid-2000s, but pretty sweet to have those. And if you got all of those, and you got the special Jack 4 case, which is a cancelled 2010 game when they were working on Uncharted. Oh, sorry, when they were working on The Last of Us, they scrapped this for The Last of Us. Naughty Dog did, and yeah, so it kind of just sits there. Yeah, best couple of games of the last couple of years, I'd say. Spider-Man Miles Morales, really sweet game, small game, and this is really good game. Recommend if you got a PS5, just because of the dimension hopping stuff, how fast levels load, that sort of stuff.
Wow, and there's just more games at the bottom too.
Yeah, man. Far out.
So yeah, I've got some more stuff here. This is kind of where I keep all the collected stuff. Grabbed this for pretty cheap. This is the entire Elder Scrolls anthology. Yep. This was at clearance at the warehouse one year for like $50 or something. That was way cheaper than it was supposed to be anyway. So I just grabbed that. The plastic was broken, but the box inside was completely fine. Everything was fine, so I grabbed that. Got real lucky with that one. And then down here I've got some of the older games. So that's PlayStation 2, PS3, Xbox One, PSP, DS. So it's kind of too much. You know?
It's never enough, Jayden.
And there's just some DVDs and games and stuff. Zelda book. That sort of stuff.
Is there a Monopoly Zelda?
So yeah, I kind of need a secondary shelf. Got my little game set up over here. I don't really use this, but one day I want to set this up where I can kind of switch between some of the older consoles that I have. And this TV is really good because it's got 4 different composite inputs. But it's a bit heavy and there's nothing really to put it on, so it's kind of just out of commission at the moment. But I need to get some stands and stuff. I'm kind of at max storage space for this room, so I'm kind of trying to sort through that issue. There's just a bunch of cables here and accessories and that kind of stuff. I'm trying to be neat about it. But yeah, that's where I keep all that.
Sharp, bro.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of that's the shelf there.
Bro, that was awesome, man. Awesome, bro. Sorry, man. We were sitting here. We're like, damn, he can't hear us.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, we were able to
I
get some
did-
questions through that too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
did.
I'm happy to answer
I
them
did.
now. Yeah.
Oh, yo. I did. I tried to like switch the audio like and unmute your phone mic as well, but then it wouldn't unmute. So like I cut you off for a little bit. Only like really like smaller, very small. So we didn't miss anything though. We didn't miss anything, bro. But man, honestly, man, sorry, man, was that Zelda Monopoly?
Yeah,
that was
it
my
was, yeah.
question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Wow.
my partner's really into Zelda, so we've got a bunch of Zelda stuff posted there.
Posted.
One of those from the game, and one of those like from the New York Zelda from the Nintendo shop. Like you get it with every purchase, apparently. So yeah, so they just kind of said that.
Nice.
Well, bro, what did you see? What else did you see there, Quinn, as we were going through?
Yeah, it was the Skyrim, like the Skyrim. Was it a box or a book, bro?
No, it's a book. So it's got a disc for every game, including Arena and Daggerfall. But you can download those online for free, I believe, nowadays. Those older games are just kind of free to play. But it's a rare disc, I think, is my understanding. It's not really on disc, or at least besides the... I guess the originals might have been. I'm not really sure how they distributed it. I think it was a floppy disk or something. There was something to that. Don't quote me, but there's something to that just being real. Anyway, they're just like megabytes, like 100 megabytes or something. And then you got Morrowind's on 3 discs. I think it's got the DLCs and on each disc as well. And then Oblivion's the same. It's got DLCs and a making of Oblivion or something, like a documentary. It's pretty cool. And Skyrim is just on 1 disc, but it's got all the maps in there, a map for each game. And if you didn't know this, the first game is a procedurally generated Tamriel map. So it's basically got every location in the game. Yeah, in the other games. But this is a very bad understanding. I've played enough of it. But all the dungeons are procedurally generated. And the maps themselves are like mapped out, but then the game runs its programming and it kind of randomly... It does it in a way so they can actually have the big scope, but yeah, I don't fully understand it, but it's massive apparently.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Far out. Bro, I was buzzing out when you showed all of your older PlayStation. Bro, were there PlayStation 1 games there? Or was it no?
I've got
PS1.
I've only got a spindle of PS1 games. I don't have any physical ones. They're down the bottom.
Yeah.
So I've got like The Simpsons Wrestling, Crash 1, and CTR, maybe Aspire or something like that. I need to get more into that, but they're kind of on the cheaper side. So I'm trying to get some of the more expensive stuff down. For some reason, PS1 is not the most expensive anymore. Not exactly on the market. I don't understand why. But...
Yeah, man. Oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Is it? I know what we'll do. I know there's a few comments in there, but I do want to, whānau, as you've noticed, Jayden's a super, man, he's just got all of the game stuff, man. There's probably a lot of jealous people out there with some of those games. Far out, especially some of the PS5 games. When you started pulling out the PS5 games, Kun was like,
It's hot take, right? I know it's hard to get a PS5, but I got mine easily. Like everyone's complaining. I get it. What I did is I took a chance, to be fair. They said I was following Sony pretty hard out. Used to be on Twitter and all that. And just kind of scoping it. They promised that they would announce when they were going to release it. They had a press conference that day. They just at the end of the press conference they said stores, like they gave a release date, but the stores just opened at that point, and they were So what I think happened is the stores didn't keep to their promise, and that's what was so hard to get one, because everyone was kind of following that promise. Anyway, I think JB Hi-Fi were like good enough to keep the floodgates shut for a while, not as long, but for a while, and I was able just to snag one that way. So yeah, I know it's hard to get one, but like if you had that all ready to go, I feel like
yeah, man.
Anyway,
hard.
I'll stop taking that angle.
We'll just tell Q to buy one for our office.
Yeah, I mean,
How? What's it? Oh, come on, Quinn. Come on. Oh wait, I'll do it if if I don't pay you next week. No. But no, bro, Quinn. Sorry. I do want to chuck up some of these questions. got a few funny comments here, Jayden. First one is sorry, just a random comment. Hold up. Oh, sad, man. It's sad. Hey, bro, you never know, man. You never know.
One thing I would like to say about that is that more games lately are starting to cross paths with each other. So it's kind of basically it's just us connecting more. That's what it is. Our consoles connecting.
Man. Yeah, hard, man. Doesn't really matter what you have now, because you can play the big games, the big box office games. Is that what they call them? Box office games? I don't know. The famous games. Yeah. But we have this one here, bro.
Yeah.
What's your favorite PS game at the moment?
That's a good question. I haven't kept up that hard, especially this year. I've been on a bit of a drought. I haven't been buying games much this year, but favorite game of the year so far was, as I said, I think Ratchet is like the coolest PS5 game that's come out so far. I haven't played Returnal, so maybe that is. Final Fantasy VII, I'm still playing that. I went through a replay when the PS5 version came out, trying to grab the platinum on it. So yeah, I guess.
Sorry, is that one remastered?
Yeah, it's a ground up.
Yeah,
it's a ground up remake. It's on PS4 and 5 now. But then it's in parts. So that's part 1. And if you played the first one, it ends where Midgar ends. So it's like expanded from like 5 hours of the game, expanded to like 35 hours. It's pretty good. It's pretty well done. Yeah. But the only thing I say about that is the PS4 is they're no longer doing the sequels on PS4 because if you played the DLC that came out with the PS5 game, everything loads faster. It's way better to play that version because it's just where it's going to be in the future. I'd say. Yeah, probably 2023 is where I'm thinking. So.
Yeah. I used to play Final Fantasy VII Hard Out, man, when it was on PS1.
Yeah, sweet game.
It was me. Man. I used to love the Chocobo racing.
Yeah, I read a book on that. I didn't show you my books. So I've got
true.
Books on the other side of the room. So there's this one called Reverse Design on Final Fantasy VII. It's like just a hard out analysis, statistical analysis, like the enemy spawn rates, the maps and stuff. And the cool thing about the Chocobo racing he mentions is how that's the only way the game takes every currency you have and allows you to transfer any currency to any other currency. By using your racing points, you can buy gil, you can buy experience, you can buy that kind of stuff.
True.
Yeah, it's apparently it's an overlooked thing in the design of the game.
Bro, I never, man. And that's so this. We're talking what was this? This was 90s, eh?
It was 97.
Man, way ahead of the game, eh? But it was Final Fantasy VII when it came out. It was actually because it was 2 disc on PS1. You had to have 2 discs, or 3 discs. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you have to clock each disc, and it was crazy, man.
Here's a fact that might blow your mind a little bit. Those discs are 720 megabytes or 50 megabytes each. CDs are anyway. The main point I'm making here is that most of the game is on the first disc, but the FMV files, the high quality video files, are the main reasons you had to change the disc. And so that's the main there's really high quality files at the time. And that's led to some crazy memory stuff because when those cutscenes play, there's some memory leakage in terms of where you are in that, and you can actually spawn into other places and all crazy stuff like that.
True. That is pretty. Man, I wish my cousin was watching this because we used to play Final Fantasy VII at his house all of the time. Man, he was hardcore into it, and far out, man. the Chocobo Racing there, we wrecked all of his like controllers. Going too hard. But hey, Jayden, bro, man, I'd love to get into having a bit of a sneak peek, bro, into your I guess your little world of game development. And I guess like man, if you just want to get everything ready, but I do want to throw up this. It's cool that Ray asked this. Man, like what inspired you, bro, to pursue game development? Just as we're getting into it, man, as we're getting everything ready.
Yeah, so as a kid, I think I played my first PlayStation game, my first console, quite young, probably too young to be honest, like 3 or 4 or something. I was playing Sly Cooper and Jack 1, I think, at the time. And that was my cousin's set. And eventually my parents took the plunge. They bought my own PS2 console. And I don't know, from there, I just kind of, the more I played, the more I realized this is kind of the kinds of stories I want to tell. As I got more into reading and writing and that sort of thing, I realized the possibilities of doing that. I used to draw a lot of, I wouldn't call them concepts, I'd just call them drawings of the screens I'd want to see in a game and stuff like that, you know. I used to tell other kids that we can just make the games we want on paper. They used to call me crazy, but I do believe you can do that. I mean, you can do that with like board games. Yeah, that's what I do for half the day. I concept stuff out.
Yeah, man. And then, yeah, we literally draw out the people and you draw out the stage and you're like, like move it in, move it. Far out, literally. Yeah, man.
I hope that answers the question. I'm never really sure how to answer that one. Yeah.
Nah, that is cool, bro. I guess, man, it started from a young age, just playing those games. But, bro, do you want to, so, whānau, what we're about to do is we're going to be checking out Jayden, and he's going to talk a little bit about a project that he's been working on. Bro, how long have you actually been working on this? It's been a while, eh?
Too long. So, I started this in 2018. It was a little design video series I made for YouTube. So the idea actually came about in 2017. As Q mentioned earlier, I used to work at a design studio. One of the things I taught there was just game development in general, like how do you make the games you want to make in a term time frame. And one of the examples I had was doors, which was just a little, you just go from one room to the other through a door and messages would pop up as you do so. Anyway, so I always wanted to expand on that. I kind of had a backstory to that, but I shelved it. And in 2018, I sat down and made it with 3 or 4 people that were watching me make it. And then once we did that, I went into full production in 2019. Thought I could make a full game. It was a bit too big, so spent a lot of that time condensing it down. I'm sure I'll try to show you what I mean by that later today. But yeah, so it's been a while. We put it out into a little beta phase last year. I called it a beta. Turns out you shouldn't call a game that wasn't that ready a beta. I knew that, but I thought it was small enough to be accepted.
Yeah, it sounds. That's right. It sounds cool. That's right.
It's a free game that, you know, and so I never was asking for money or anything. So I called it a beta and said you can try it for free. And I always want it to be free. That's the thing. So I just thought it was kind of a cool marketing thing to call it a beta. So I'm calling it a preview. I'm calling it a preview now instead of wasting time with alpha and betas. Because apparently I set expectations too high. I didn't realize I was setting any expectations at all. So what you'll see today is a really refined version of that. So I think Q's put some links out. If you download that version, that's the old version. We haven't put the new one up yet, but there's videos on the new one on the YouTube channel. I'm just currently testing it out with a lot of people just to make sure that the vision and the way the game feels and stuff, all that stuff's really good. Well refined before I put it out. I don't want people to have their first experience I don't want to set those expectations and let them down, you know.
Yeah, bro. I love that, man. I love that, man. I love that. Cheers. Just I think Jayden, I think we might need to like turn on your screen sharing again. Maybe
no problem.
Yeah. If you suss that out. But whānau, I do want to mention in the description I've put in a few links. There's a link to his Facebook page where you check out his just links and video footage of doors, also to his YouTube channel, and also a direct link to be able to download the calling it a beta, the beta preview that he put out last year. So please go along if you're into that sort of thing and you want to check it out and learn more about the work he's been doing for the last few years, man. Definitely go and hit those links, and yeah, man, drop him a few likes here and there, whānau. Ciao, ciao.
I'm just going to share my main screen because that's definitely the easiest way to do this. So I'm in the window now. If you want us to flick over, I can't see what's going on, so you're just going to have to kind of be my eyes for me on the stream.
Yeah, man. I think we might need to just.
So you're still previewing StreamYard on your screen, bro?
Oh, really? I said I was going the whole. Okay, sorry about that.
All good, bro. All good, man.
Welcome to our ASK.Q show.
Bro, yeah, hard. Haven't you've seen the many fails that we've had, bro. It was like
I've clicked entire screen, so you should be on the Game Maker window now.
Sweet. Man.
How we looking?
Cool. Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Perfect. No, that's pretty. It's pretty wide, eh? Like
my screen. Yeah. Are you on the Game Maker window?
Yep.
Yeah, sweet.
So what we can see is like all the layers and stuff, and I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's so this is called Game Maker Studio 2. This is what I use to make my game. So it's a kind of a high level. It's a game engine like Unity, Unreal Engine, that sort of thing. But it's kind of specializes in 2D games. You can make 3D stuff, but it's a bit of a pain, and it's definitely not made for that. You know what I mean? But it's pretty neat. I would say it's a little underutilized in terms of, or less popular in terms of what it should be. Because in a lot of ways, it's just like using Photoshop, like with your layers and stuff, as Q just said. So I'll try to stay away from the tutorial kind of stuff, and I will just try to showcase what I've done. And I think the tutorial stuff will just kind of come up anyway as I go on about it. Yeah. So this is a level. This is a level called level stage 19. It's a dock. It's a harbor. And basically, why I'm showing you this level in particular is because yesterday I spent some time putting together part 2 of this level, which is stage 19.2. There's not much to show here. I just kind of put it together really quickly to have something new to show. So no one's seen this before. I thought that'd be kind of, in its own way, kind of cool. No, it's all good. There's nothing to it.
We feel special. We feel special. Thank you.
Just one thing I want to quickly show is I've got Illustrator open with the level there. So what I've done is I've gone and made this file in Illustrator. It's just a bunch of vectors. So one thing you'll notice is if I put the background on, the middle's hollow. It's not just like a white background. So this is actually just like one object. And I've used a lot of grids at the time to make that. I kind of put these in myself. It's just using the pen tool and making a line. So I should have named these, to be honest, but I didn't. I also put the boy in to get a perspective of the size of him in the level. The boy's the main player. That's who you play as. And this here is the boy's father. And so I just kind of wanted to compare the size of the boy's father to the boy. Because when he came in, it was a way bigger file. But the cool thing about vectors is you can stretch them and make them smaller, and they don't lose any quality or diminish in any way. So once I've exported the PNG files, I put them in here, and we'll just give it a play. So hopefully it doesn't take too long. I did put something in here called a shader, which does make it take a little longer. But we're in now. So this is the main theme. Shout out to Mark Bradfield, who composed this theme. He's like the main reason the game's atmosphere feels anything like the game's atmosphere, to be honest. So if I go to level select, I'll go to stage 19. So yeah, there's a little text there saying exploring Dad's work. That's the level name. If you notice, the water's moving. It's a bit of an odd angle, but the whole game's not angled like this. It's just kind of the design of this level for a certain particular reason. A little bit of context is this all takes place in this boy's head. These are just a collection of memories this boy's had. And he's developed retrograde amnesia, so he has trouble remembering stuff that's happened before this accident. And so because of that, certain areas aren't fully realized and some are. So the ones that are realized are kind of just bigger like this in scope, and they're just a bit more drawn out. Some of the ones that aren't as utilized are just kind of blocky, and they've got like a neuron background, and I'll show you that later. And on top of that, color is a concept as well. So the more colorful something is, he kind of remembers it better. So anyway, that's a little relevant. But
oh man, 2 years. I can see why it was 2 years, my man. Far out, like the. Oh yeah. Sorry, longer than that, but far out.
So this card's meant to be way bigger, but there's a reason it's so small. It's meant to almost block your path, but as I've just reused another asset, it's not really the car. It's just me putting a mental note to myself to remember to fix that later. So anyway, that's how you enter and leave the level. You just go to the next bit. And so this is the bit here. As you can see, the water's transferred. It's just in the background. And so this is just the same level as I said. That's why you haven't got the level text, because every time you enter a new level, it comes up on the screen saying which level it is. And as I said, some of the ones that are bigger in scope are the ones you remember better. But I've put some collision in, and I just want to show how I've done that in a second. But you can't walk into, like, it's got nothing to do with the Illustrator PNG or the vector. That's completely to do with the engine itself and how I've set up the systems in the game. I saw some of your game video this week. Did you do collision stuff? You walked into walls?
Yeah, we can, but a lot of that, the engine, it's already done in the engine that I was using, so it's not like as full on as yours, man. Like, it's way easier than the straight up, like.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. Like, I love RPG Maker, and we're looking at doing something else with that as well. But I'll get into all that stuff later. So,
sorry, can I just put up a question, bro? This is something you can answer as we're going through. But I do want to put this up because I think it's super handy for anyone watching, man. Like, where did you study game development, bro? And how long have you been studying game development?
I've before this year, I haven't really studied game development per se. I'm just studying a Bachelor of Science degree at Massey University. I do that via distance, so it just enables me to work on my projects and work from home in a lot of different ways. I've only started that this year. I transferred from Otago University. Wasn't a big fan of the scope, I guess, how big everything was and kind of stuff like that. There's a few things to it. So I like distance better. That's kind of why I've done that. But enables me to work more on my projects and stuff like that as well. So that's pretty good.
No, it's cool, bro.
Sorry, I feel like I haven't answered the question. So.
No, I think you did. But it seemed like maybe. Yeah, sorry.
So I studied all the way through high school, just kind of like digital design, web design, application design. I think now there's ways to actually study game design. I'm not sure if you can do it in high school or anything, but you can definitely do that at university. Like, I've seen game design degrees pop up, but that wasn't a thing when I entered university a few years back. So so I hope that answers the question there. Yeah.
What I'm hearing, man, is a lot of it is actually just self-taught and just essentially exploring, and just really, like, I mean, because this for you, the interest started when you're super, super young, just from playing the games, and I guess a lot of it is just personal drive and just learning in your own time, Would that be correct, bro? Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of it too, I think some of my best experience comes back to the studio, just learning, teaching what you've learned, and that sort of thing. It's both rewarding, but it's also just helps solidify some of the things you're not thinking about when you're just kind of going through your everyday tasks. If that makes sense. There's a lot of things at the start that don't quite make sense, I'd say. But
that's cool, bro. But sorry, man. Carrying on, man. I just thought I'd put that one in there because it's quite a good, just interesting for anyone that sort of wants to get, like, the honest truth is, bro, you're a guy that set out to make a game, and bro, even the point that you've just put out this, even the preview, but where you're at right now, it's super inspiring, especially for our young people that a lot of them play games, and a lot of our young people are just high consumers of, like, games in general, but being able to show them, real people like yourself, that out there just, at home, man, going hard, just showing this in general, it just makes it, I think, more accessible for young people as well. And and when I say young people, it's teenagers all the way through to early 20s and stuff like that, man. But also too, it's more than that. It's anyone can do a whānau, anyone can do it. So yeah, man, that's cool. But sorry, carrying on, man. Having had my little splurge, bro, accordingly.
I just, if I can add to that question, just one last thing I'd say is if you want to get into it, YouTube's a great place just because there's lots of entry level, there's lots of tutorials and different engines and stuff like that, but also it's such a such a rich, I think they call it a rich context or something. Basically, you can see exactly what they're doing and exactly what would go wrong and that sort of thing. Because, you know, when you're just reading a book and you're going from the book, sometimes it's not covering everything. But also, if you just look at reverse design, like some of the games that you like and some of the people that talk about designing them, that's also a cool start as well. I think that's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's cool.
So,
and yeah, sorry. And Jayden, we're gonna ask you a question in a bit, bro. That's a really cool question too. Sorry. Last thing, I'll shush now. Shush.
I just hope I've got a really wide monitor, and I know sometimes it comes out in a HD output. It comes out really small, like all the text. Can you see the thing I've highlighted here? Can you read what it says? Is that?
Nah.
Yeah, I thought maybe that might be.
Yeah.
So I've done that. I can do that here, but I don't think I can.
I wonder if you can unshare and maybe squash the window and then try and reshare the window, if that makes sense. So then we. Oh yeah, does it? Yeah. Sorry. So maybe unshare the screen. Yeah.
If I just quickly do this, because it might be. Is that better? Can you see that?
Oh, I want to jump over, Quinn.
Yep. Oh, wrong one.
I am just showing a little bit of the screen.
Yeah. Nah, it's because it's still wide. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, so I'll just sorry, I might just commentate it. So it says balance. So that is an instance layer. So down here I've got all our layer options. There's a background layer, which is at the bottom here. There's a white layer and there's a water layer as well. Oops, I've just made a new one accidentally. Get rid of that. And this is an asset layer, and all that has is sprites. Sorry, I keep getting my toolbar to show up. So that's got the wharf in it, and the wharf is just a PNG file taken from Illustrator. There's actually no bounds to it or anything. So I've set this up myself. Like I've set up this system. Every level has like a bound system and an instances system. Instances is the default one, but they've got different things like that. And this this SCB is a abbreviation for these arrows. These ones are here permanently, but you can turn them off in the menu, and so it just like disables the layer or enables the layer. But this bounds here, this is actually where all the collision stuff is handled.
Oh,
so these are just walls. These stairs here are just an object as well. But I made these stairs for a different room that actually have the stairs visible. There's actually not much. There's not much to this. I don't know if you can. I can't. I can zoom in, but it takes going through my preference settings and stuff like that. Is that okay? Can you see that?
No, yeah, I mean, bro, all we see, we just see text and colors, and I'm just when you pulled up, I'm like, what the heck?
So there's not much. There's not much to this. This is just a global variable. It means any object can actually see this in the game. That's in the memory of the game at all time. And you can change that variable, and all that variable stores is the current room name. So this is just a function that gets the room name. And that's just like room stage 11 here, for example. And so all this does is checks for a collision at the XY position of the player and checks if the room name is equal to a certain room name. So it's just got a different condition for each different room that it's in. And in room 8, it's actually stairs. They're just an actual object for... Sorry, there you go. It's an actual object that exists in the game. You can see it in the game. They're actually there. The reason I use that again is just to kind of save on making another object, save on memory usage and stuff like that. So I just make them invisible and it's just some stairs again. And the reason I chose that is because they actually take you to another room and they do the same function in the other room. So I figured that can just be my transport object, my teleport object.
Yeah, hard, bro. Got you, man.
Can I just check something in there? The room that you just showed just before this, it looks way better than the Q, than the room that Q showed on last Tuesday.
This
I see the Lionel, like the design of the house was just mean? Different Lionel, you know, different.
I agree, Quinn. I agree. I feel sad for my house though. Quinn. But I agree, bro.
I must say that house was very small, but it had everything you needed. It had the ASK.Q televised room or something. It was good.
the boardroom when the office at the chair I'll be sitting in when Quinn comes to work. Mate.
By the fire.
Hello, Quinn.
I got the fire on. You know what's wrong.
Do one of those scenes where you turn around. And,
that's exactly right.
I've been waiting for you.
Yeah. Or I might be sitting at my piano, you know. Hello, Quinn. Come into my office, and then I walk in. Like,
giving me an intro to walk into your office.
Yeah. Hey, I want to. Yeah, but I want to put up this other question from Ray, man. I think it's a really cool one, bro. So I don't know if you can read that there. What's the difference between a game designer and a game developer? Yeah, man.
That's a very good question. I do want to point out I don't have professional job experience in the field or anything, but I believe what it comes down to is, was it game designer and programmer? Or
Yeah, game designer and game developer. The difference.
Developer, sorry. Okay, so my understanding is a developer is it's a hierarchy. Like everyone's a developer. Everyone that makes music, everyone that makes indie games, art assets, they're all developers in a sense. But then under that, you got like the programmers, the game designers, for example. And game design, I think, just kind of, at least what I think, encapsulates all the other design fields. Kind of like you put things together, you take out some levels, you draw them out on paper, you program things. You know, I think a game design is a bit more broad, but I think it sits under that developer. And basically that comes pretty much straight out of the Art of Game Design by Jesse Schnell, so like almost verbatim. So it's someone else's words, but I think that best explains it.
Nice, bro. No, bro, that's good, and it's cool that you referred it to a book because I mean, if it's in a book, man, it's almost like clarified facts.
Pretty famous book. Again, I disagree with it, so it resonates with me a bit. But yeah, it might not be completely word for word, but yeah, I think it's what I've learned from that.
Nice, man. Yeah. Man, that was a really. I just want to chuck up a few of these, bro, just quickly, bro. This is when you pulled up the code.
Yep.
When you open up the code window, damn. and then another one. Right? Sorry. I'll just put this up.
My head started spinning when you opened up that new screen.
Yeah, well, I mean that's not really much because to be fair, the game, the code in the player, which I've got open here, is like over 300 lines long, but it does include spaces. I say over 300 lines because a lot of it's comments past that point, but to be fair, honestly, a lot of it's tutorial content, stuff I've learned from that over the years. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. But yeah, I made a big crucial mistake in this development that's really held up the release date, I would say. So that's state machines. I'm not sure if you're aware, but it's a very common way of state machine. So it's a very common way of keeping track of the current state your player's in or your enemies are in, for example. So you could be like running, walking, attacking, just standing there. You could have, maybe it's a gun game, maybe you're shooting something, or maybe it's a puzzle game, so maybe your player's like, maybe it's just really like a tap of a finger, but like maybe the state of your door is shut or open, that sort of thing. So that's a very common way of keeping your states in this machine. So you can just kind of use like a switch statement and switch between the different behavior. The big mistake I made is when I started this game, I knew about them, but when I started this game, I thought, it's a small game, I don't need a state machine. It's never going to be that big. So now I've got all this code here that switches between different states, but I've got to keep like variables of like tracking of what's going on. Like if he can move, if he can't move, then all this stuff is, you can't, your move speed's like 0, your jump's 0. But if you can move, then you can, and essentially like if I had a state machine, I could just switch between the different states. And that's a big reason why the code's, it's actually quite messy. So yeah,
Man, wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. It sounds like, yeah, bro, that alone, that's just understanding states and it's like a big mission. Makes me think like RPG Maker now. It's like, oh man, I'll just stay on RPG Maker. Right?
It's funny you say that because I remember when we were at the studio one day and you were visiting and you said I explained the different game that I'm still working on that's never going to be finished probably. And I was explaining it to you like, why don't you use RPG Maker to make your RPG? And I'm like, yeah, no, it's great. I love it, but it's just like like past the stuff I have in there, I can't do all this, you know. And I was hoping one day I could explain that.
Bro, and here we are today.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are today, bro. RPG Maker here. Game Maker Studio, wait, is Game Maker Studio 2?
Yeah, and I think there's the free version now. I think they've just changed it to a subscription model, so you can actually like export your stuff to desktop for free. But there is limits. But you can pay like $20 a month and get a bunch of other stuff. I actually own this. It's cost me $90 back in 2016, and I just own it forever. That was a bit before the subscription change.
Oh, nice, man. That's really cool. What I'm going to do, whānau, is I'm going to, once my slow computer loads, here we go. I'm just going to drop you all a link in the comments, just if you wanted to check it out yourselves. But no, that's cool, man. Far out. What's up, man? I've just seen now, bro. We're sort of coming towards the end of the show, bro, Jayden. It's like man, it feels like we're just getting started, to be honest. Honestly, But is there any other one quick little thing that you want to show us, maybe before we jump away from your screen, bro? Just yeah.
Sure. I added this recently. This is a very new system called sequences. Which I think are really cool. It's just basically animation inside. That's the cool thing about Game Maker. You got your sprite creator inside Game Maker. You got everything inside here that you need. You don't actually need any other software. I choose Illustrator because I like playing with vectors and stuff like that. But there's this animation tool that came out, very recent on the system, but it means I can just quickly animate the, like walking in a scene and stuff like that. Yeah. That's so cool. It's, as you see, it's just frame by frame illustrated, but yeah, that's just kind of how it works. And if we load up the scene that it's used, and it's used in the introduction scene, it looks way better than any of the other animation. And I will just quickly showcase that by showcasing 2 quick scenes. So if we just go new game.
Oh, bro.
So like that. And if I go exit to main menu and go to level select and go to this one here because it's right at the end for debug purposes. There's a scene right now. Or is it those are just frame by frames, and so that's the difference there. Like I need to go through and put that in the new system. Luckily, I haven't actually animated a lot of the cutscenes, so that saves a lot of time.
Yeah, that is cool, man. How long, like just general, like maybe just that walking animation? How long did that take you, bro?
Well, as I said, the sequences make it way easier. So that barbecue one took ages, and like that barbecue one is more than this. It's not just popping this in the scene. It's like understanding when the scene's going to end and start and stuff. If I just go into cutscene, I think it's cutscene 3. Basically, it has all these things. Like it sets the sprite to, like that's the door there. Yeah, and it's just the one thing like that. But I have to set the global scene speed, and then I have to set the when the scene ends. So I mean, this is not a scene per se, but this is just like the one sprite animation. And so when that's done, we go to the next one, and then it's just the boy going like that, and then like it just continues on all the way to the end. And there's like all these different alarms, and it's just way too complicated. Like it's not complicated, but it's heavy. Like it's a lot of work for what could be done, and it's essentially just like this,
Yeah, this is like steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Far up. We're gonna do it the coolest way possible. Way.
It's been a bit of time. Like, this is getting too much. That barbecue.
You're the man, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up, bro. Honestly, bro. I'm pretty. Sorry. Yep.
Just a quick shout out to like everyone that's helped here. Like, there's been a lot of people that have actually put in time into this game as well. So like, we've had voice actors, people that have been like co-writing, and the composer, like I said. So it's been a team effort, and I kind of like the idea of continuing to like collab on projects, and hopefully there might be some money in it one day. For, like, you know, because I want to kind of make like a little studio and just like help people get to where they want to be. Because I think that low point of entry is really hard in game development. Like the people that want to just do something while they're studying or that kind of thing. I like, there's no way to fast track getting your degree and then going to the studio, if that makes sense. So like, I think that's I've kind of summarized it really quickly, but yeah, I think that's a cool idea.
I like that, man. I like that too, and because it's really great too, because you're doing it. You know, you've come in, you've just done it, and it's, you know, speaking from experience. But yeah, man. Honestly, I'm just super impressed with like all your mahi. Yeah, massive shout out to your team, definitely, bro. But honestly, bro, that was super inspiring. Honestly, when I was jamming on RPG Maker the other day, really took me back, because it'd been like, it was years, bro, years since I've used that, and took me back to those days of just like sitting around with other young people, other young creatives, you know, just talking about different ideas, and all of us just, you know, when we were working on something together, just putting our ideas into the pot and really trying to push to mold something really great too. And just like hearing more about your project and then seeing it, bro, tonight. You know, it's super like heartwarming, bro, to see that. Like for me, I felt it back then, but then to see it, you still going hard and seeing what you've been able to accomplish. So I just want to say massive shout out to you and your team, bro. Like, and honestly, like hopefully we get to like check out or hear at least, and then do another catch up on when you release the next version, bro. Straight up.
Yeah, it's not too far away either. It's an internal and not external testing, but close friends of the team testing it as well. Just before we put it out, you know. But yeah, there's so
straight
should
up
come out soon.
whānau. Oh, mean, straight up whānau. If you haven't already, and if you didn't hear me earlier, check out the description. We've got links to check out Jayden on Facebook, YouTube, and also a link to the earlier preview version that you can download and jam yourself. So, man, freaking wicked, man. Freaking wicked is all I can say, bro.
The earlier version runs at 30 frames locked per second, and it's really slow. As I wouldn't download. This one's going to be awesome, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you wanna, you know, if you wanna feel where he's come from, whānau, you know, get on over there. You just remember, it's where he's come from and where he's going. You've seen it here tonight, whānau. So, yeah.
Made a really cool little clip show of the development over the years. It's on the Facebook page. You have to scroll down probably like 6 or 7 posts or something. But it's 30 seconds of like fast-paced progress and certainly it's pretty good. I just
bro. I got to remember tomorrow, if you don't mind, I'm going to share that to our Facebook page. If you don't mind, if that's cool with you, bro. Yeah. Bro, I think, you know, if anyone watching, man, you know, you get to see the hard mahi, man. Far out, you know. That's all good. But nah, cool, man. Hey, team, I think that's us, man. We might wrap it up, Quinn. You cool?
Yeah, I don't really want to, but it's getting late and we don't want to keep anyone up for too long. But I just want to throw some comments up, bro, if that's all good.
Yo, all good.
So this one right here. Oh, Jayden, are you able to see it now, or? Oh
yeah, I'll just stop sharing and.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
Sorry, I was just kind of standing there for something.
So Ray said, the game looks like. Oh yeah, sweet. Curious.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the coolest thing about this game, I don't know if I actually mentioned it, is it's always going to be free. So the point of the game is, I've heard it's called serious games. Now, I've never heard this term before this yet, but like it's got a serious point about a serious message, about a serious real world problem. And that's my understanding what a serious game is. Maybe I'm misquoting it, but what it's about is just about family abuse, that sort of thing. It's a pretty heavy, touchy subject, but what I want to do is just have it as a free educational and maybe not educational resource but also have a fun game to play with different states and things like that. So it's a platformer game. It's a little bit of a puzzle game in some ways. There's a lot of working out what you want to work out. As much as you put into it is as much as you get out, because you can build the memories yourself. You can. I'm over offering now. I'm setting those expectations again. But you can collect memories and you can view them.
Oh man, honestly, that's bro. I don't want to give away too much, bro. Then what you're not supposed to. But I just hearing you when you explained it, like right at the beginning as you were opening, I was like, what is that? What this game is about? I was like, man, that's so cool. Just bro.
Yeah, I envision it being able to be used in school, so it's kind of friendly, but at the same time, I think it's going to be valuable.
Yeah, man, bro, I love it, bro. Yeah. Honestly, bro, I love it, man, and honestly, would love to play it once you're ready to share it with the rest of the world, man. Quinn, was there some other ones you were going to chuck up, bro?
Yeah, man, it's just from Janice.
Yo, shot Janice. whānau Janice was the one that came in last week, shared off her desk, and told us a little bit about her mahi that she does, her little side hustle. Cleaning and customizing shoes, man. Shout out Janice, man. Thanks for popping by again tonight, man. Straight up.
Shoes look really good last week.
Yeah. Well, straight up, guys. I've been I messaged her earlier this week. I was like, "Oh, hey, can you clean these?"
It's crack up just to jump off after the live show with Janice. I was able to go to the front door, grab my shoe. Oh, what do you think about these shoes?
Straight up, man. Yeah. It's cool. But nah, man. I guess, bro, is that us, Quinn? Should we wrap up, bro? You want to wrap us up, man, Quinn? You want to wrap us up?
So special thanks to you, Jayden. Thank you for showing us your personal space, your gaming experience, your stories, the story behind the game as well. That was mean. It's a touchy subject, but people need to know about it because it's reality. It's around, but we don't see it much. But yeah, wanted to thank you so much, Jayden, for showing us tonight, and shout out to all the whānau that watched us tonight. It was an awesome show. I do have some notes, some news, I guess, if you want to call it, Q, just about tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow. So there is a special little live episode, I guess, and it's just for this week, and it's Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, and we got a little Kahoot quiz tomorrow. So if you like, make sure you have two screens, one to display the live and one screen to actually play the game.
Can be laptop and phone if needed, either. But you can do it on one laptop with your windows next to each other. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for that one. Yeah, thanks for that one.
Anything else, Q? Am I forgetting anything?
Oh, yep. There's one other thing. Just FYI, Jayden. Just one thing. FYI. If you need your sneakers clean there, Jayden, Janice has got you, man.
You might regret that. I wouldn't say clean. Maybe like pimped or something. No, that's not a good word.
Nah, man. Thanks, Jayden. And just sorry, last little comment, bro, before we wrap it up, bro. Just the Ray, bro. Awesome show, boys. Great insight to the world of game development, man. Appreciate you, Ray, bro, coming through tonight. And bro, he's been here since the beginning of our show. So, bro, thank you for hanging out with us for the whole hour, bro.
Yeah,
appreciate you, bro. Straight up. But man, Quinn, that's us, bro. Should we do it?
Yeah. So
man, thanks again, Jayden, bro.
Yes, thank you. And pōwhā. Pō whānau.
Sweet. Cool. Later, whānau. Ciao. Thanks, Jayden, bro.
See you.